You know, when I first met Em, I wasn't looking for perfection. I wasn't some dreamer with a list of ideal traits in my head. I just wanted someone real. And Em? She was exactly that. Beautiful in her own way. She wasn't one of those stick-thin women you see in magazines. No, she was naturally a bit fuller, curvier maybe, but it suited her. She had this glow about her, like someone who could light up a room with a smile. Our relationship was stable, predictable in the best kind of way. We had our routines, dinner on Sundays at her parents' place, movie nights on Fridays, those lazy weekend mornings where you stay in bed too long just because you can. Life wasn't flashy, but it was good. You know, the kind of life where you think, yeah, I could do this forever. But as we all know, forever can take a hard left when you least expect it. It started slow, almost invisible at first. Em had a lot going on. Work was stressing her out. Her mom wasn't doing well health-wise. And then her mom passed away. That broke something inside her. Em wasn't the same after that. She stopped smiling, stopped going out with friends. I remember watching her sit in the living room, just staring at the TV like it wasn't even on. She started eating more too. Comfort food, junk mostly. I think it was the only thing that gave her a sense of relief. But, as the weeks went by, her body changed. She was gaining weight faster than either of us expected. I didn't care about the weight itself, though. What scared me was the emptiness I saw in her eyes. She was shutting down on me, and I didn't know how to stop it. At first, I thought it was just temporary, like maybe she needed time to grieve and get her mind right. I tried to be there for her, you know. Gave her space, but also checked in. Asked if she wanted to talk. But Em, she wasn't the talking type when it came to pain. She bottled it all up, like she was scared to let any of it spill out. Her job wasn't helping either. They kept piling work on her, and with her mind already somewhere else, it was like a slow-motion car crash. Deadlines missed. Emails unanswered. One night she came home, slammed her bag down and said, "I can't do this anymore." That was it. No details, no explanation. I knew she was barely hanging on. Food became her escape. I'd catch her late at night in the kitchen, eating straight from a bag of chips or a pint of ice cream. She'd say, "I just need something to calm me down," like those snacks were her emotional first aid kit. It was hard to watch. She'd always been someone who cared about staying healthy, but now she didn't seem to care about anything at all. The weight kept coming, and with it, more problems. She'd get winded walking up the stairs. She complained about joint pain. Worst of all, we started having conversations we never thought we'd have, about kids. We'd been trying, or at least planning to try, for a while. But the doctor told us bluntly, "Your health needs to improve before pregnancy can even be considered safe." That hit her hard. It hit both of us hard. I was scared for her, scared for us. I didn't want to lose the woman I loved, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, and honestly, I felt helpless. I didn't know how to pull her out of that dark place she was sinking into. But one thing about me, I don't give up on the people I love. Not without a fight. I knew something had to change, and waiting around for things to magically get better wasn't an option. I started doing my homework, reading articles, watching videos, talking to anyone who might have advice. I even met with a few professionals, doctors, therapists, nutritionists. Everyone had a different opinion, but the core message was clear. Em needed both physical activity and emotional support. So, I sat her down one evening. I wasn't sure how she'd take it, but I had to try. "Hey Em, listen. I know things have been really rough, but I think we need to try something new, together. What do you say we start going to the gym, just to move a bit, clear our heads, nothing intense, no pressure?" She gave me that look, half skeptical, half exhausted. "Terry, I can barely get out of bed some days. How do you expect me to go lift weights or run on a treadmill?" "I'm not expecting you to do all that. I'm just saying, let's try. Maybe a short walk to start. If it's too much, we'll stop. But I'll be there with you every step of the way." There was a long pause. I could see the battle playing out in her mind. Eventually she sighed and said, "All right, we'll give it a shot." And that's how it began. The first few weeks were tough, really tough. She'd get frustrated easily. Some days she didn't even want to go. There were tears, angry outbursts, and moments where she'd break down and say, "I can't do this, Terry. I'm not like you. I don't have that discipline." I'd sit next to her and say, "You don't have to be like me. You just have to keep showing up. That's enough." And slowly, very slowly, she started to believe it. I wasn't just her cheerleader. I was in the trenches with her. We'd go for walks, hit the gym, try out different classes. I'd cook with her, making healthier meals but still leaving room for some of her favorite comfort foods. The key was balance, not perfection. And when she had setbacks, because of course she did, I reminded her that it was okay. Life isn't a straight line. Progress looks like a messy, zigzagging road sometimes. The important thing was that we were moving forward, together. Little by little, Em started to change, not just physically, but mentally. She'd come home from a workout and say things like, "I actually feel good today." I hadn't heard her talk like that in months. It was like watching the woman I fell in love with slowly come back to life. But I didn't realize back then that new life she was finding might not include me the way it used to. It was like a switch had flipped. Em started hitting her stride. She wasn't dragging her feet to workouts anymore. In fact, she'd started going without me on days I couldn't make it. I'd come home and find her buzzing with energy. "I just crushed a spin class today," she'd say. Her face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in ages. It was incredible to see her transform, not just her body, but her entire outlook on life. Her confidence skyrocketed. She bought new clothes, started experimenting with makeup again, and walked with this self-assured swagger. I'd catch her in the mirror sometimes, turning side to side, checking out her reflection like she was meeting herself for the first time. "I can't believe how good I feel," she told me one evening. "It's like I'm waking up from a bad dream." I was proud of her. Hell, I was in awe. She fought her way out of that dark place, and I was right there beside her, cheering her on. But slowly, things began to shift in ways I wasn't prepared for. At first, it was subtle. She started spending more time at the gym, making new friends there. A lot of them were guys. I didn't think much of it. She was just being social, right? I figured she was excited to be connecting with people again. She'd mention a gym buddy now and then, but there was always this edge in her tone, like she was holding back details. Then came the parties. She'd get invited out with her new workout crew and come home late, sometimes smelling like a mix of expensive perfume and alcohol. I tried not to read too much into it. "She's just enjoying herself," I told myself. "She's been through hell. She deserves some fun." But the distance between us was growing. We weren't having those quiet, intimate moments anymore. She wasn't asking me to join her at events. It was like I was becoming an afterthought. The real gut punch came one night when I walked into the kitchen and found her scrolling through her phone, giggling at some message. I tried to play it cool. "What's so funny?" "Just something Ryan sent me," she said casually. "Ryan?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yeah, a guy from the gym. He's hilarious." I didn't say anything, but inside, something twisted. I wasn't jealous. I didn't want to be that guy. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was losing her. The way she lit up talking about other people. It wasn't the same spark she had when she talked to me. And just like that, the doubts crept in. Was I not enough for her anymore? Did she see me as some boring relic of her old life? The version of her that she was desperate to leave behind? I tried to shake it off, but the cracks in our relationship were becoming impossible to ignore. Before you find out what happens next, please subscribe to the channel. I knew something was off, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. We'd been through so much together. I kept telling myself it was just a phase, that Em was adjusting to this new chapter in her life. But deep down, I knew the woman I fell in love with was slipping away from me. The turning point came during a party we attended together. One of her gym friends had invited us. Well, more like invited her, and she dragged me along. I felt out of place the second we walked in. Everyone there was in perfect shape, wearing designer clothes that hugged their toned bodies. Meanwhile, I'm standing there in my usual button-up and jeans, nursing a beer like it's the only thing keeping me grounded. Em was in her element. She moved through the crowd like a social butterfly, laughing, chatting, flipping her hair. I was proud of her, sure, but then I saw it. That moment. She was standing near the bar talking to some guy, tall, muscular, with that too cool for school attitude. I watched as she leaned in, her hand playfully touching his arm. It wasn't just a friendly gesture, it was something more. My stomach dropped. I walked over, trying to keep my cool. "Hey, Em, you good?" She glanced at me like I'd interrupted her. "Yeah, of course. Terry, this is Matt. He's in my boxing class." Matt extended his hand. "Hey, man, heard a lot about you." I shook his hand, forcing a smile. "All good things, I hope." "Oh, definitely," he said, but the smirk on his face made my blood boil. The rest of the night was a blur. I kept my distance, watching from the sidelines as Em floated through the party. She wasn't doing anything blatantly wrong, but the signals were there. I felt like an outsider in her world, like I didn't belong anymore. On the drive home, the tension was thick. I couldn't hold it in any longer. "Em, can we talk?" "About what?" she asked, her voice clipped. "About us. I feel like we're drifting apart. I mean, you're going out all the time, meeting new people. And I get it, you're finding yourself. But I feel like I'm losing you." She sighed, rolling her eyes. "Terry, you're overthinking it. I'm just enjoying life. Why do you have to make it about you?" "It's not about me, it's about us. I miss you, Em. I miss the way things used to be." "Maybe that's the problem," she muttered under her breath, barely loud enough for me to hear. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my heart pounding. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means, maybe I need more than what we have right now." Those words hit me like a freight train. I didn't know what to say. For the rest of the ride, we sat in silence. After that night, things only got worse. Em was colder, more distant. She stopped sharing things with me, her thoughts, her feelings. We became like two strangers living under the same roof. I was still fighting for us, still trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, but she was already halfway out the door. And the worst part? I was starting to wonder if she was right. Maybe I wasn't enough anymore. You'd think after all we'd been through, after all the love and history we shared, there'd be a point where we'd hit the brakes, where we'd have a real heart-to-heart talk and try to save what was left. But no. We were like two people standing on opposite sides of a canyon, yelling at each other but never really hearing a word. The final blow came one night during another argument. By then, it felt like that was all we did. Argue. I'd try to talk things out, and she'd shut me down with sarcasm or dismissiveness. This time was no different. "Why don't you trust me?" she snapped, crossing her arms like she was ready for a fight. "Em, it's not about trust. It's about respect. You don't even talk to me anymore. You're always out, and when you're here, it's like you'd rather be anywhere else." "Maybe I would," she shot back. The words hung in the air, cold and sharp. I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Do you even want to be with me anymore?" She hesitated for a moment, just a moment, but it was enough. I think I deserve more. I've changed, Terry. I'm not the same person I was when we got married. I've grown, and you're still stuck in the past." "Stuck?" I echoed, my voice trembling. "I've been here for you through everything. I've fought for you, for us, and now you're telling me I'm holding you back?" "You don't get it," she said, shaking her head. "I don't want to keep explaining myself. I need to move forward, and I don't think I can do that with you." I felt like the floor had been ripped out from under me. Everything we built, everything we promised each other, it was crumbling right in front of me, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. The next day, she filed for divorce, just like that. I can't even explain what those first few weeks were like. Numb, empty. I'd wake up in our bed, half expecting her to be there beside me, only to find the space cold and empty. Friends and family tried to console me, telling me I'd be fine, that I'd bounce back. But I wasn't so sure. I didn't want to fall into the same pit she had. depression, isolation. But damn, it was hard not to. I had to remind myself constantly, you're stronger than this. You've survived worse. You'll get through it. I focused on small victories, going to work, cooking my own meals, taking long walks to clear my mind. I kept telling myself that time would heal the wounds, that I just had to keep moving forward. But a part of me still couldn't understand how we got here. How the woman who once swore she'd love me forever could turn around and throw me away like I didn't matter. It hurt. It hurt more than I'll ever be able to put into words. Weeks turned into months. I wasn't completely healed, but I was getting there piece by piece. I'd found a rhythm in my new normal. Work, gym, spending more time with friends. I wasn't exactly thriving, but I wasn't drowning either. That's when she called. It was late, almost midnight. My phone lit up with her name, and for a second, I thought I was dreaming. I stared at the screen, debating whether to answer. Eventually, curiosity, or maybe something else, got the better of me. Hello? Terry. Her voice was shaky like she'd been crying. I leaned against the kitchen counter, unsure how to respond. Hey, Em. What's going on? There was a pause, followed by a deep sigh. I don't even know where to start. I've been thinking about everything. About us. About how I messed everything up. I stayed quiet, letting her talk. It was the first time in months she'd reached out, and I wasn't about to make it easy for her. I thought leaving would make me happy, she continued. That I'd find something better. But Terry, it's all been a lie. The people I thought were my friends, they only cared about me because I looked good, because I was fun at parties. When things got tough, they disappeared. No one was there for me like you were. I felt a pang of bitterness. Part of me wanted to scream, "What did you expect?" But I held my tongue. I wasn't here to kick her while she was down. I made a huge mistake, she whispered. I miss you. I miss us. Can we talk? Maybe meet up? I closed my eyes, exhaling slowly. This was the moment I thought I'd wanted, her finally realizing what she threw away. But instead of relief or happiness, all I felt was disappointment. Not in her, but in myself for still caring, even after everything. Em, I said softly, I hear you, and I'm sorry you're hurting, but we can't go back. Too much has happened. You made your choice, and I've had to live with it. Now you do too. There was a long silence on the other end. I understand, she finally said, her voice barely audible. I'm so sorry, Terry. I hope someday you can forgive me. I already have, I replied. But forgiveness doesn't mean going back to the way things were. We said our goodbyes, and I hung up, feeling strangely at peace. I knew she meant her apology. I knew she was truly sorry. But that didn't change the fact that the trust, the bond we once had, was gone. Some things you just can't rebuild. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I was free. Life didn't magically become perfect after that, but I found myself smiling more. I reached out to friends I hadn't seen in years, reconnected with hobbies I'd put on hold. Hell, I even started traveling, something Em and I always talked about but never got around to. I was finally living for myself. People around me noticed the change. My friends would say things like, "Man, you're looking good, Terry," or "You've got this new vibe about you." I guess I did. For the first time in a long time, I felt like me again. It was one of those random, lazy Sunday afternoons when you go out just to grab a few essentials. Milk, bread, maybe a pack of snacks you shouldn't be eating. I wasn't expecting to run into anyone I knew, let alone Em. But there she was, by the produce section, staring at a bunch of bananas like they held the secrets of the universe. She looked different. Not bad, just different. The energy and confidence she used to carry with her were gone. Her face was fuller, and I noticed that she had put some weight back on. But it wasn't just the physical changes that hit me. It was her eyes. They had that same distant, tired look I remembered from before. She noticed me and froze for a moment. "Terry." "Hey." she finally said, forcing a smile. Hey, Em, I replied, keeping my tone light. How've you been? She shrugged, glancing down at the cart she was pushing. You know, just getting by. We talked for a few minutes, small talk about life, work, and random stuff. But there was something underneath it all, something she wasn't saying. I could feel it in the way she kept hesitating, like she was searching for the right words. Finally, she sighed. Terry, can I ask you something? Do you ever, I don't know, feel like you're stuck? Like no matter what you do, you just keep falling back into the same patterns? There it was. The question wasn't really about me. It was about her. I could see it in her eyes. She was reaching out, looking for someone to lean on. Maybe even hoping I'd offer to help her again, like I had before. I paused for a moment, choosing my words carefully. Em, I get it. Life can feel like that sometimes. But the thing is, you've got to be the one to break those patterns. No one else can do that for you. She nodded slowly, biting her lip. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, look, I continued, my voice gentle but firm. I really do hope you find your way. But I'm not your husband anymore. I can't be the guy who fixes everything for you. You have to figure this out on your own. Her shoulders slumped slightly, but she didn't seem angry. If anything, she looked sad, resigned. I know, she whispered. It's just hard. I know it is, I said sincerely. But you've got it in you, Em. You proved that before. You just have to believe it again. She managed a small smile, though it didn't quite reach her eyes. Thanks, Terry. That actually means a lot. We said our goodbyes, and as I watched her walk away, I felt a mixture of emotions, sympathy, sadness, but also relief. I'd spent so much of our marriage trying to carry her burdens, and now I understood that it was never my job to fix her. She had to want that for herself. I walked out of the store, the cool breeze hitting my face. I didn't look back. For the first time in a long time, I knew I wasn't tied to the past anymore. My future was mine, and I was ready to build it, on my own terms. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe to the channel. I wish you a great mood and good luck.